Shabbat Shalom, Temple Beth Sholom. It's wonderful to have you in the sanctuary. If you've braved the wind and haven't blown away, we're happy to have you here. If you're nestled safely at home, we're also happy to have you here with us in spirit, like Elijah at Passover. We're going to begin our service on page 10 with Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid Nefesh Avarachaman Mishochav Dach Eretz Zonach Yarutz Avdach Kimo Hayal Ishtachaveh Mul Hadarach Ki Yerablo Yedidutach Minofet Suf Bechotam Igaleina Ufros Aviv Alai Et Sukkot Shelomach Ta'ir Eretz Mikvodach Nahila V'nismecha bach Maher Ahuv Ki b'moed V'honeni Ki be'olam
Lechuna Ranana is on page 11.
Lechu niranena, lechu niranena, lechu niranena, Adonai. Lechu niranena, lechu niranena, lechu niranena, Adonai. Nariya, nariya, letzuri shenu, likad mapana b'toda. Nariya, nariya, letzuri shenu, bizmiro nariya lo. Lechu niranena, lechu niranena, lechu niranena, Adonai. Lechu niranena, lechu niranena, lechu niranena, Adonai.
Yismachu Hashamayim, page 14.
Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Hiram hayam, hiram hayam, hiram hayam, umelo. Hiram hayam, hiram hayam, hiram hayam, umelo. Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Hiram hayam, hiram hayam, hiram hayam, umelo. Hiram hayam, hiram hayam, hiram hayam, umelo.
We continue together on page 20, Romemu.
Nai, nai, nai. Yai nai 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 Behar Kocho Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Veishtachavu Behar Kocho Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Veishtachavu Behar Kocho Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Veishtachavu Behar Kocho Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu.
I ask if you're able to do so, please rise. Mizmor LeDavid is on page 21.
Mizmor LeDavid Habu Adonai B'Nelim Habu Adonai Kavod Va'oz Habu Adonai Kevod Shemo Ishtachavu Adonai Ve'adat Kodesh Kol Adonai Hamayim El HaKavod Hirim Adonai Hamayim Rabim Kol Adonai Ba'koach Kol Adonai Behadai Kol Adonai Shober Arazim Vayeshaber Adonai El Arzei Havanon Vayakidem Kemo Egel Levanon Vesirion Kemo Ben Rebim Kol Adonai Kotzen Lavotesh Kol Adonai Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh Kol Adonai Kol Ne'ayalot Vayechesov Yeharot Uvechalo Kulo Omer Kavod Adonai Lama Bo Yashav Vayeshev Adonai Melech Leolam Adonai Os Le'amo Yitein Adonai Yevarek Et Amo Vashalom Nai 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 Ay 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 Nai Nai Ya Ba 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 Nai 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 Ya Ba 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 Nai 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 Ya Ba 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 Nai 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 Nai.
Please be seated. We continue Ana Bechoach on page 22. Adonai, if you would, may your mighty right hand undo the knot that ties us up. Please accept the prayers of your people, you who are revered. Raise us up and cleanse us.
Ana Bechoach, Bechoach, Gedulat Yemincha, Yemincha. Tatit Serura, Kaberina Tamcha, Sagvenu, Tarenu, Nora. Ana Bechoach, Bechoach, Gedulat Yemincha, Yemin. Sagvenu, Tarenu, Nora. Ana Bechoach, Gedulat Yemincha, Tatit Serura, Tatit Serura, Kaberina Tamcha. tamecha, rina tamecha, sagveinu tarenu nora. Nagibor dorshe Yehudcha, kevavat shomrem. Barchem taharem, rachamem sidkatecha, tamid gomlem. Ana bekoach gedulat yemincha, tatit zerura, gaberina tamecha, rina tamecha, sagveinu tarenu nora. Nai 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 nai
Jewish tradition teaches that we greet Shabbat as we would greet a beautiful bride on her wedding day. Lecha Dodi is on page 23.
Nai 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 Pene Shabane Kabela Nechadori Eli Gurakala Pene Shabane Kabela Shamor V'Zachor Bidi Borchad Ishmianu Elham Yuchad Adonai Echad Ushemo Echad Hashem Utiferet Benitchila Nechadori Eli Gurakala Pene Shabane Kabela Ligrat Shabbat Lekuvenecha Ki Mekor Haberacha Merosh Mikedem Nesucha Sof Maaseh B'machshavat Chila Nechadori Ligurakala B'nei Shabane Kabela Mikdash Melech Ir Melucha Kumetzia Mitocha Bekarav Lachshevet Be'emeka Becha Behu Yachamol Alahi Kemla Lechadodi Eligurakala B'nei Shabane Kabela Hinari Me'afar Kumi Nirshi Bigdei Tifartecha Mi Aliyan Ben Yishai Bechalach Me'akar Va'el Nafshi Nafshi Ge'ala Lechadodi Eligurakala B'nei Shabane Kabela Hitorere Kiva Ore Kumi Ori Uri Uri Shedaveri Kevod Adonai Alahik Nikla Nechadodi Ligrakala B'nei Shabane Kabela Lo Teboshia V'lo Tikami Matish Tochachia Umatechemi Vach Yechesu עניי עמי ונבנתה עיר אצילה לך דודי לגרק עלה פני שבת נקבלה והיו לשמסה שעושייך ורחקו כל מבלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כמסחוס חתן הכלה לך דודי לגרק עלה פני שבת נקבלה ימין ושמאל תפרוצי בעת אדוני תריצי על ידי ונפרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לך דודי לגרק עלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לך דודי לגרק עלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לגרק עלה פני שבת
Please be seated. We turn to page 27 as we continue together. Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat.
מזמור שיר, מזמור שיר, מזמור של יום השבת. מזמור שיר, מזמור שיר, מזמור של יום השבת. טוב להודו לאדוני, טוב להודו לאדוני, ולזמר לשמחה עליון. טוב להודו לאדוני, טוב להודו לאדוני, טוב להודו לאדוני ולזמר לשמחה עליון. טוב להודו לאדוני, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, אמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות לאדוני, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, אמונתך בלילות. טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמחה עליון. טוב להודות לאדוני.
We declare God as sovereign of the universe. Adonai Malach, page 29.
Adonai Malacheu lavesh, lavesh, Adonai ozit hazar, aftikon tevel batimot, aftikon tevel batimot, nachon kisacha meaz, me'olam atah. Nasehu neharot Adonai, Nasehu neharot kolam, Yisehu neharot tohyam, mikolot ma'im rabim, adirim ishvereyam, Adonai leorech yamim Adonai leorech yamim mikolot mayim rabim adirim mishvereyam adir bamarom Adonai adir bamarom Adonai.
I ask that if you're able to do so, please rise as we heed the call to worship together. The Baruch Hu is on page 39b.
Nai 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 ya nai 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 ya nai 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 ya nai 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 ya nai 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Nai 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 ya nai 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 ya nai 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 ya nai 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 ya nai 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 ya nai Uma'avir yom u'mevi laila Uma'avdil ben yom u'vein laila Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Adonai Tzvaot Shemo El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravi.
Ahavat Olam is on page 40.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Avta Toranu Mitzvot Kimu Mishpatim Otanu Limadeta Akein Adonai Eloheinu B'shofeinu V'kumeinu Nasiach Bechukecha V'nismag B'divrei Toratecha U'b'mitzvotecha Le'olam va'ed Ki chem chayenu ve'orek yameinu Ve'orek yameinu U'vahem neged yom ha'valayla Ve'avatecha Atasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha Bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'odecha Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele Asher Anochi mitzavecha Hayom al levavecha V'shinantam levanecha V'dibarta bam V'shivtecha b'veitecha Uv'lechtecha v'aderech Uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam leot al yedecha Ve'hayu latotafot bein einecha Uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Adonai Elohechem emet.
We continue on page 44. Who is like you, Adonai, mi chamocha?
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nehedar b'kodesh norat tehilot osef ele norat tehilot osef ele malchutcha rahu vanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe zelianu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed.
Who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty? Who is like you, adorned in holiness, revered in praise, working wonders? Your children recognize your sovereignty as you split the sea before Moshe. This is my God, they responded, and they said, Adonai will reign forever and ever.
Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed.
Hashkivenu, page 45.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amitenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amitenu malkeinu lechaim. Ushmor tzeteinu uvoenu lechaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amitenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amitenu malkeinu lechaim.
Adonai, shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our God. Please watch over us and deliver us. And you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Please ensure our going and coming for life and peace now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all people, and over Jerusalem.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amitenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amitenu malkeinu lechaim.
We rise and turn to page 46 as we sanctify Shabbat together. Vishamru.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המברית עולם.
Atzi Kaddish is on page 46.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה,
אמן.
ועלמא דברה קידותי ועמליק מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן הקריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה.
Yitbarach.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר וירומם וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שם מלך קדושה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו Amen.
As we transition into the Amidah for Friday night, Adonai Sfatai is on page 47.
Adonai. Sfatai tifta. Ufi yagid. Ufi yagid techilatecha. Adonai. Sfatai tiftach. 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 Ufi yagid techilatecha. Ufi yagid techilatecha.
The Friday night Amidah can be found on page 47. This is a silent prayer. Please use the words of the Siddur or private meditations of your own heart. those of you who have finished praying your Amidah, you may be seated. If you're still praying your Amidah, please continue to do so. We're going to continue with Shalom Rav, which is on page 51.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol heit ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם.
We make peace together. Oseh Shalom is on page 52.
Say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen.
Kaddish Shalem is on page 54.
Yet kadal vigrasham me rabba.
Amen.
Be'alma divra kirute ve'amlek malkute b'chaya choni v'mechon v'chayda kol be'it Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kari ve'meru. Amen. Yehesh me rabba mevarach. Le'alam olam me'almaya.
Yitbarak.
Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitba'ar v'yirma v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemeri kudusha. Rechu le'ena min kobrakata v'shirata. Tushbekata v'nechamata damiram be'alma v'imru. Amen. Titkabak zolot tahona v'utahona ko Yisrael ko dama v'hona v'shamaya v'imru. Amen. Yehi shalom aramin shamaya v'chayim alenu ve'al ko Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav u'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. First Lieutenant Jimmy Cross carried letters from a girl named Martha, a junior at Mount Sebastian College in New Jersey. They were not love letters, but Lieutenant Cross was hoping they were. So he kept them folded in a plastic bag in his left pocket above his heart. In the late afternoon, after a day's march, he would dig his foxhole, wash his hands under a canteen, unwrap the letters, and hold them with just the tips of his fingers, and spend the last hours of light pretending. He would imagine romantic camping trips into the White Mountains in New Hampshire, but more than anything, he wanted Martha to love him as he loved her. But her letters were mostly chatty, elusive on the matter of love. She was an English major at Mount Sebastian, and she wrote beautifully about her professors and roommates and midterm exams, about her respect for Chaucer and her great affection for Virginia Woolf. She often quoted lines of poetry. She never mentioned the war except to say, "Jimmy, take care of yourself." The letters were only 10 ounces, but they weighed on him so much more. This passage is adapted from a book called The Things They Carried. It's an autobiographical novel by Tim O'Brien about the war in Vietnam. And every chapter starts off describing somebody and what they carried with them during the war. Do you know anyone who carries things? We can all probably think about someone we love, maybe a friend or family member, and the things that make them unique. They're probably the things that they carried or carry. I had a friend growing up as a kid who always had a slingshot in the back of his pocket. He was kind of like that cartoon character, Dennis the Menace. Everywhere he went, Kyle was armed. One of my Havrutas in rabbinical school, my study partner, who's now a rabbi, he always had a yo-yo and a bottle of Yoo-hoo with him. So we'd be sitting in the Beit Midrash, studying Talmud, and there's Ben with his Yoo-hoo while bouncing a yo-yo, studying Gemara. Long before the days of texting when people actually wrote letters, did you ever used to carry letters around with you? Maybe in your pocket or in your backpack or your locker at school. Maybe you even carried them in your breast pocket like Lieutenant Cross did in the novel. There's something magical about this spot right over your heart, isn't there? We recognize that this is the spot where life emerges from the body. And while there are hundreds and hundreds of songs about the heart in connection to love, we know that love is entirely a function of the brain. But interestingly, if you've ever had your heart broken, as I have, you can literally feel it in your heart right here, can't you? Feels like somebody's taken it out and done the Mexican hat dance on top of your chest. This area of your chest where our heart lies can demonstrate a huge degree of respect as well. If you've ever been to a baseball game, you'll know that before the game, everybody stands for the national anthem, and they all place their hands over their hearts. Many people will remove their hat from their heads, likewise place it over their heart. Why do people do this? Likewise, in the morning, if you come here for Minyan, if you come here for Shachrit, or really just about any synagogue anywhere in the world, you'll see people putting on these little black boxes called tefillin, and during the Shema, we read the words from the book of Deuteronomy, from Devarim. It says, "You shall place these words of mine on your heart and on your soul." We touch the tefillin on our arm because it is connected to the veins and the arteries that flow to our heart. Why do people do this? Human beings are aware that the heart is vulnerable, and if harmed in any way, could be proven fatal for the individual. So for thousands of years, we as human beings have created all sorts of various protective devices for the heart. Knights on horseback put enormously heavy armored plates over their chest to protect them from a sword or a lance. And even nowadays, you'll see police officers wearing bulletproof vests to shield themselves from would-be attackers, putting it over their heart. Our bodies are even aware that the heart needs protection, so from birth, we're equipped with a rib cage that protects our heart. Now, even though I've spent a lot of time talking about placing things over the human heart, I haven't been the first to do so. In our Torah portion this week, Tetzaveh, God tells Moshe to instruct the Kohanim, the priests, to make this elaborate breastplate that is to go over their heart, and they're supposed to wear this in the tabernacle. The Torah tells us that this breastplate is supposed to have several unique items on it. This is from chapter 28, verse 29. It says, "Aaron shall carry the names of the sons of Israel on the breastpiece of decision over his heart. And when he enters the sanctuary, he'll remember Adonai at all times." If you look in the hallway, kind of across from where the bathrooms are, you'll see that we too have a Torah scroll ornament here at Temple Beth Sholom. It's a metal plate, and all of the names of the tribes of Israel are inscribed on it. There's something else that Aaron is supposed to do. He's supposed to place something inside this breastplate. The next verse says, "Inside the breastpiece of decision, you shall place the Urim and Tumim, so that they are over Aaron's heart when he comes before Adonai. Thus Aaron shall carry the instrument of decision for the Israelites over his heart before Adonai at all times." You might be asking yourself, "Rabbi, what is an Urim and Tumim?" Good question. Scholars don't exactly know, but we have an idea because the verse calls them instruments of decision. So when the rabbis write about what these things are, they kind of describe them, maybe you played with this, a magic 8-ball. You're supposed to shake these things, and they give you a divine answer, maybe yes or no. These tools were probably designed to answer questions, provide certain stability in the ancient world, and while the priestly breastplate might sound foreign, think about this for a moment. I think it's a beautiful idea that the priest would carry the names of the Jews that preceded him before he would walk into the most holiest of places, the sanctuary. And he kept these names over his heart. And likewise here at Simple Beth Sholom, as we enter the sanctuary, we walk past this beautiful Kornberg Memorial Hall. And inside of it, it carries all of the names of our loved ones that are no longer with us. Also, our sanctuary contains a source of certainty and stability. And that source is sitting all around you, friends. It's the Jewish people, our friends and loved ones, our community who is here when things are good, and God forbid, even when things are bad. It's our duty to each other as a congregation to carry each other when we need each other the most. There are some days when I come into the office and the weight of the world or the weight of the pandemic, the weight of everything is just so much And sometimes I am amazed at who helps me carry the burden of that weight. Sometimes it's our preschoolers who give me a big smile when I walk into their classroom and they want to sing Shabbat songs with me. Sometimes it's our senior congregants who are the pillars of our temple who simply give me a nice word or an encouraging thought. We all have to help each other carry things from time to time. So what I would like to ask us tonight, friends, what are you carrying on your heart? Is it anxiety? Is it stress? Like the pictures that Jimmy Cross carried in his novel, these things are practically weightless, but in reality, they can bog us and drag us down. So tonight I have an idea. Wouldn't it be beautiful to leave all of that negative energy here in our sanctuary? Or let some of the members of our community help us carry that burden? What would it be like to do as our liturgy says, V'tacher libenu leovdecha be'emet, cleanse our hearts to serve God in truth? Friends, we don't have a magic 8-ball or a Urim and Tumim anymore. We don't have godly instruments that can literally help us predict the future or help us determine the best course of action. I certainly wish we did. We don't have priests wearing breastplates anymore, but we are all aware that our hearts are sensitive and vulnerable. So let us bind as a sign together as a community, and let us be tied to one another's hearts. And like our tefillin, we'll wear our hearts on our sleeves. Shabbat Shalom. Our sages tell us that on Friday night, angels from heaven circle the world in search of people to celebrate Shabbat with. We're going to turn to page 73. If you're able to do so, please rise as we sing Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malchei Hasharet, Malchei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem l'shalom, Malchei Hashalom, Malchei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, Malchei Hashalom, Malchei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitkhem l'shalom, Malchei Hashalom, Malchei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We remain standing for Kiddush, which is on page 76.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei puri hagafein. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho ve'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh Bereshit ki hu yom techila lamikrahei kodesh Zecher letziat Mitzrayim, Kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, be'ahava u'vratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh, HaShabbat. Amen.
If we have children who would like challah, please come up to the bima. We're going to very carefully cut it and space out.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Take one. There you go. Excellent.
We remain standing. Aleinu is on page 56.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latei gedula leotze boreshit, shelo asanu koyei haratzot, velo samanu kimishpechot hadama, shelo sam chelkeinu kachem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malachei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu notei shamayim ve'yoser haaretz, u'moshev yikaro b'shamayim imal, u'shchinat uzo, begove meromim, hu Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu evet zulato, kakatu v'torato, ve'adat hayom ve'hashevota, elevavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim, bashamayim mimal, ve'al haaretz, mitachat ein od, al ken nekev lecha Eloheinu li'rom. Kagatu b'toratecha, Adonai imloch le'olam vaed, v'nemar, v'haya Adonai le'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. We're going to take a moment and say a prayer for healing for those not only in our community but all over the world. Misha Berach is on page 173 in the left-hand corner of the page.
Misheberach Avoteinu Mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Simple Beth Sholom is remembering those who are no longer with us physically but are most especially in our hearts this evening. We're acknowledging the yortzites of Sidney Abrams, Toto Becker, Samuel Best, Florence Bless, Stephen Bless, Morton Bloomfield, David Breslow, Marcella Brown, Pauline Carroll, Ben Sion Chaizanoff, Carol Gortway, Morton Gottesman, Mildred Green, Shirley Harrison, Sharon Ivy, Hyman Kahn, Edward Kanan, Joan Katz, Rose Kaufman, Charles Kaufman, Ida Bertrice Kirschner, Saul Kramer, Florence Lynn Landis, Gilbert Landis, Nadav Lee Engel, Abraham Marmor, Chai Kenya Marmer, Jerry Miller, Louis Molaski, Jerome Molaski, May Mushkin, Morris Neistat, Chana Bela Nelkin, Joseph Mayer Ritchie, Fred Rosoff, Joseph Rubenstein, Peter Sachs, Maury Schwartz, Howard Schwartzer, Edwin Sully, Richard Selznick, Minnie Schlisky, William Sinchoff, Hyman Sperling, Irving Steinberg, Sam Stevens, Ruben Weisberg, David Wilker, Morris Seidman, Thelma Salenko, and we're acknowledging the Shloshim of David Davidson, Larry Sachs, and Margaret Ofek. Mourners and those observing a yortzeit have an opportunity to say the Mourner's Kaddish. We'll say this prayer together on page 58.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra kirutei ve'amlik malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kari ve'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. We now have an opportunity to hear some announcements from our temple president, Jared Finkelstein.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to all of those people here in the sanctuary as well as joining us online. Slowly but surely there's a trickle of people returning to the sanctuary, and while it is wonderful to have the ability to participate online, there really is nothing like being here in person and sharing the warmth of Shabbat with our community. So, of course, everyone with their own comfort level, we are observing, I think some best practices, but there really is nothing like being here. So, those of you who were here last night for Purim outside, it was really wonderful. You got to see Adam dance a little, so that was very much a treat. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Tomorrow morning, you can join us for services, again, here on campus or online at 9 a.m. A week from this Sunday, we are having our TBS Sunday Fun Day Comedy Night, featuring headliner Jessica Curson, special guest John Fish, and hosted by Eric Newman. This is our fundraiser for the year in lieu of a gala. We really need your help. If you're going to be out of town, you can still access it online. You don't need to be a member to buy tickets, so if you know of friends or family out of town who need a good laugh, have them go to our website to buy tickets. We have some wonderful auction items. There are a few staycations locally as part of it. There's a lesson in poker or blackjack by a professional, so a lot of unique gifts or items that are online, so please take a look at that. This year, as we slowly approach Passover, we're going to be offering kosher Seder takeout catered by our own chef, Christine. I think the happiest person to hear we're doing it again was Rabbi Hodson, who gets to go with the blowtorch into our kitchen to kosher the kitchen. But those of you who participated last year know the food was wonderful. We are having basically the same menu this year. So the last day to order is March 19th. So please, you can go online to do that or call Nicole in the office. Our adult education offering this week will be Radical Torah on Monday at noon. The class is online. And if you know of a temple member who's in the hospital, ill at home, or in a nursing home, please contact the temple office to let us know. Shabbat Shalom.
I've got nothing.
Nothing to say. I'm good. I know.
When I kosher the kitchen with my blowtorch, can I dress up like Boba Fett?
You sure can.
Like I did last night?
You sure can.
Okay. Adon Olam is on page
I
211.
hope we have like surveillance cameras in the kitchen so we
put
can
it
catch
like right
that.
here. 211, Adon Olam.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Hitzid Nivra, Le'nasa, V'hefso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nigra, Ve'acharei Gilot HaKol, Levado Yimlok Nora, Behu Chaya, Behu Hoveh, Behu Yeh B'tzifara, Behu Echad, Ve'in Sheni, Lehamshir Lo Le'akbira, Beli Reshit, Beli Taklin, Melo Ha'oz Ve'hamizra, Behu Eli, Ve'chai Goadli, B'tzor Chevli, Ve'hitzara, Behu Nisi, Umanos Li, Menakosi, Ve'yom Ekra, Ve'ador, Afkid Ruchi, Ve'etishan, Ve'ahira, Ve'im Ruchi, Givihati, Adonai Li, Belo Ira, Nai Nai Nai, 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 Nai Nai.
We end Friday night services in a really beautiful way at Temple Beth Sholom. We end them with a blessing toward one another. So if you came with somebody, put your arm around them. We're going to send blessings to everyone here in the sanctuary and to you at home. Yivarechecha, page 75.
Yevorechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha Ya'ir Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom Yevorechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha
Adonai Oz le'emo yitain, Adonai yivarech etzamo v'shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Salam Aleinu, Ve'al Kol HaOlam, Salam Shalom, Salam Aleinu, Ve'al Kol HaOlam, Salam Shalom. Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam. Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Odevo Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kulam.